Yo, guys, what's going on? Trader Mayne here with quick market update. Sorry I didn't get to stream today. A little bit busy day. Dog's a little under the weather. So I've been taking care of him. He's got some sort of stomach thing going on. So just kind of hectic day. But man, at least we're getting some action. Not in the form of the market itself, but simply in the form of Bitboy going through some sort of crazy manic episode. I don't know if the cop thing that he just posted is real. Like, did he actually get pulled over? He didn't actually show the cops. So who knows? I didn't see any lights, no cherries and berries. But who knows? I mean, the guy's definitely going through some shit. Got kicked out of his own company, said he relapsed. Um, Released some teary-eyed apology video about how he had an affair on his wife with some chick he was paying money every month to. Pretty wild stuff. And then now he's going on this big tirade about how he got kicked out of the company. Like it was a mutiny. Um, you know, I don't know what's true. From watching all of his videos and then the responses from Hit Network, etc., I think both sides are very, very stupid. First of all, if it's as serious of a matter as he is making it out to be, he should be talking to his lawyers and be very calculated with what he is saying and the things he is putting out, as should the Hit Network, right? They shouldn't be doing these back and forth video clips and YouTube videos and going on a podcast and talking about it. Like, you should be talking to a lawyer and being like, what should I say? What can I say? And the lawyer probably would tell you to shut the fuck up. It's usually the best advice. Don't say anything. But seems pretty crazy, all in all. I mean, at least it's some bear market entertainment for us. Obviously, if there is a serious issue and he's going through some sort of episode and it's real, hopefully he gets the help that he needs, because you don't really, no matter how much you think a guy's a scumbag, which he is, and I don't know why anyone would donate him money, but he was wearing a Rolex and asking people for donations and raised 200 grand. So I don't know, maybe I'm the idiot, but obviously if he's going through a mental health crisis, you wish the best for him. But yeah, pretty crazy shit, to say the least. One thing I do know that is factual is he lost like several $100,000 in an online poker game. The reason I know this is because I was part of the game, not specifically playing against him, but I'm part of that online game. And I'm buddies with the guys who organize it. And perhaps some of those money that he was misappropriating was, to cover the losses from those poker games. I don't know. But pretty crazy shit. So, anyways, I guess I mean, at least last time we had a crazy BitBoy episode, he was in the Bahamas trying to find Sam, SBF, and that was the bottom. So who knows? Maybe this is a bottom signal. Maybe it's a top signal. I really don't know at this point. But pretty crazy shit. But I hope everyone's doing well. I know the market's been a little boring, and that's kind of what I want to start with. If you look at the volatility index, right? Like we're sitting at, near all-time low levels here on volatility. Like the market is very, very, very dead right now. So if you're in here every day trying to force trades, maybe don't. Maybe go outside. Maybe, chill out. I definitely think we're in capital preservation mode right now, or you should be, and that's the state of the market right now. Could the bottom be in? Could we go lower? It's yet to be seen. But the last thing you want to do is give away money or give money back to the market that perhaps you made during kind of the first 3 months of the year, first 6 months of the year, when it was kind of just easy mode. You don't want to give all that money back when we've got several weeks here of just, sideways price action. So keep that in mind. You don't always need to be in a trade. You don't always need to be trading. And if you need to scratch that itch, go look at some other markets. As you guys know, I'm, posted this gold short that I took. I don't know if any of you guys took it, but I gave you the analysis and gave you the setup anyways. Looks to be trying to push to a new low right now. So this trade's off and running and looking good. There's other markets to trade, that are trading a lot easier, right? We had this euro short that we talked about, had another re-entry I wanted here, but I didn't get filled. GU absolutely nuking, right? And why is gold, EU and GU nuking and UJ fucking ripping? Well, that would be because the dollar is trading at 106. So as you guys know, I was very bullish on the dollar near the lows here. Straight up since then. Literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're working on our 10th green weekly candle in a row. It's been up fucking only on the dollar. So this is due for a correction. I'm not ruling that out. It's absolutely due for a correction. This is an unsustainable trend. But the way it's looking, it looks like it still wants to trade here. So the question will be, when is that correction going to come? This is an area that I'm interested in it potentially correcting from. I'm not saying all the way back down to the lows, but absolutely could see a correction maybe below some of these lows, right? And then up into this area, or maybe not even quite this deep. But this is the kind of setup that you would want to see where, okay, now I want to get bullish on EU, GU, and gold, right? And maybe even Bitcoin, right? Because Bitcoin's been getting smacked, right? Where was the top on Bitcoin in July? Right here. So this type of potential pullback is where you'd want to look at those dollar denominated pairs, exclude wheat there, and potentially look for signs of reversal and signs that it is going to be time for a little bit of a break on the dollar and maybe some relief on those dollar denominated pairs. But I'm not trying to call top on this thing. I'll wait for price to show me that, see some sort of market structure shift on a lower time frame to give me a clue, right? Because if you're looking at the 12-hour, which is the time frame I've been trading this on, it's higher highs and higher lows the entire way, right? So now you have a low here on the H12. Shift below there, then perhaps it's time for some sort of correction, right? And then we look at, okay, get long on these markets, maybe get short on these markets, get long here, right? But this looks like it still could very well be the draw up at 107 to 110. And if that's the case, I would think that Bitcoin ends up trading down deeper into this breaker block here. So we'll go to Bitcoin here. Came up into that 12-hour resistance I had marked. Right, we had the break of the range low. Quick reclaim. I talked about the breaker here, right? There's your retest. Where'd it go to? The next level of liquidity in the form of this order block. Failed here and traded down. And I talked about wanting to see some of these lows get run before longing. And we finally came down. We ran that H12 low. And again, I posted this on Telegram yesterday. Ran that H12 low, trading below, got a nice sweep, break in market structure. Now we're retesting and we've got equal highs here. So my bias is right now towards these equal highs, to be honest with you. We got a bit of a rejection here. So we obviously have to clear this order block here, that capped price here. But this looks like a low and then a higher low here, and then potentially a move up into here is possible. Now, if we start trading back below, this kind of consolidation here, then I would likely think that this was just a deviation of that level, and we actually are going to trade back down into the lows there. But for now, I'm not in a Bitcoin long, but just looking at the chart based on PA, based on the dollar, should pull back here soon. I could see a move up into these equal highs right here, and potentially even a little higher. So I'm watching for that. I didn't unfortunately take this long here, even though it was one I was mapping. I didn't get into the long myself after we ran that H12 low out. But that's what I'm watching on Bitcoin right now. Again, the market's pretty boring. Like if you zoom out to the monthly here, right? This is June's range right here. Still, it's now almost October, and we've still been using June's range. The high traded to the low. So we've literally just been trading in this big old range here for ages. And if you want to even get a little bit cuter with it, I mean, you could argue that we're trading, right? We're trading kind of in this range, right here. Right? Yeah, we deviated above, deviated below. But this is a pretty tight range here that we've been in for over a month now. And honestly, I would much rather trade some sort of breakout at this point or some sort of larger correction than get caught kind of diddling in the middle here, where it's not super clear what the direction's going to be. So I'm leaning towards a move up into those, those equal highs that I had mentioned there. But I'm not holding my breath. We could just continue to go sideways. I don't think you need to force anything based on how the market's been trading lately. Maybe we get some volatility juiced into the market. It seems like that, last spate of buying that we had was from Sailor, buying, more Bitcoin. I personally am of the belief that Sailor comes out positive if he decides to ever sell, because I do think Bitcoin will make new all-time high, and his average price is, I don't even know, 29, 30K. They're not that far underwater. I mean, he's got $500 million in unrealized losses or something like that, but it's not a loss until you sell, right, guys? So, that's kind of the day plan, day trade, intraday plan, maybe a move up into here. And we'll see. Ultimately, my bias and my explanation, remember I wrote that big bullish thesis thread saying what's going to take us to 32. Well, it was going to be the low here being the low, and then it was going to be the dollar topping out and then potentially correcting, right? And it was going to be obviously the market reclaiming this and then the June's mid-range. So we got that low hold, and again, to me, the math is the same. So if we break up from here, then this becomes your key low, right? So if you long down here and this is your stop, right? Here's your stop. If we make a new high, your stop goes to here now, right? Because the invalidation is super clear for the bulls. If we got below here when we were trading here, in my opinion, we were trading way lower. So that remains the case. If we get below here, if we pull back down here and get below here, I think we fucking puke, right? But if we make a new high, trade up into here or something, then this becomes your invalidation, because at that point, if we come all the way back down here and lose this low, this thing's fucked, right? So that's how I would trail my stop, right? If this is going to go up, this becomes the new invalidation for the bulls in the area that you don't want to see us trading below. So that's kind of what I'm watching on Bitcoin right now. Not nothing too crazy, nothing too excited. Ethereum's kind of printing along potentially here. So we have, this large H12 down range. We have an H12 sweep here into this order block. So if you look down on the hourly here, right, we've had an MSB right there. This is the breaker. So technically, this is a long right now, based on the H12 and then the H1. You could take the long here with your stop here, but this is quite a wide stop. Like from here to here, it's a decent size stop, almost 2%. So I don't know if the RR makes sense. Where would you target? Okay, let's say you target into the mid-range. So you could take the long, target the mid-range, stop at the low. It's not horrible, right? 2.5R. Alternatively, you could play the raid candle entry. So instead of using the breaker, you take the raid candle here, and you set your limits there. You hope to get a slightly better entry, which would then give you a better risk reward. You don't need to be as aggressive with your targets, right? So if it does get to that, that almost doubles the RR, right? So that could be the setup here on Ethereum. I see the logic behind this, absolutely. So that's a potential trade that I might take this week. If it comes down, I'd be entering on the raid. I'm not interested in entering on the breaker here. I think that zone's a little too wide. But that's something I'm watching on Ethereum there, raid candle setup. So we'll see if that plays out. Last week, if you're in my friend tech group, I don't know if I just suck at the friend tech thing and the post tech thing. I posted a couple of reviews in there. I posted a strategy on Monday's range that then yielded a 2.7R trade last week. And my fucking price is at like 0.4. And then I'm in some rooms that are like 2F, and it's just people saying good morning to each other. So I don't know if I'm just not likable enough or if I'm not active enough. I don't know. But I'm trying to provide some value in there, but I do find it hard to keep up with all these different fucking platforms, to be honest with you. But I'm doing my best. So if you're in my friend tech, I posted this setup basically in there, Monday's range, right? So we have Monday's range. not this Monday, but last Monday, right here. There's your low. Okay. There's your high. And it was very simple. It was a fade of Monday's high. So we traded above Monday's high, got back within. Soon as we had an hourly close back within the range, right here, right? That was the entry. Stop was at the high. Target was into Monday's low. And as you can see, that worked out and then some. So very simple trade, right? Now look, we have Monday's old range here. We're working on reclaiming it. That would easily be a nice reclaim trade into those equal highs right there. Right? Not the best RR, but you could probably refine it. You could maybe get your stop a little tighter if it gives you something on the lower time frame. But we have a new Monday's range, right? So I'm just gonna get my other levels back here. And then we will delete everything again. And we'll throw on this bad boy. So now we've got a new Monday's range here, right? So what's the ideal scenario here? Right? We're looking to fade either side of the range. So if we get a move up here and then back inside, that to me is a short. Move into here, back inside, that to me is a long. That simple. That's all I do Monday's range for. It's just completely separate from the other strategy that I trade, like the H12, H1 strategy. This is its own strategy. I just use Monday's range and I try and fade a move. It's not that I'm just shorting as soon as we break out. I want to see us break out and then get back inside, like I showed you with that last example there of last week's Monday's range. Okay, so that's all I got there for those. I kind of covered dollar already, right? We're at that range high now. Let's see what happens. This thing is due for a correction, but I'm not going to short it until, I'm not short, it's the wrong word, but I'm not going to try and set up trades with this as confluence until I get signs of rejection. Stock market kind of looks hideous, to be honest with you. Like, look at the weekly here. That's a weekly break in market structure on the S&P right there, right? So that's a shift below the low here. That's now a lower high. So we have a high, a low, a lower high, and we have a lower low. So, looking at this, 3 straight weeks of down, probably due for a bit of a bounce, but very simple for me. Take this order block here. You've got a new one now, right? So I'm looking for a move up into here. Here's your new range high. I don't know where the range low is yet, but I'm likely looking for some sort of move up here as an opportunity to short down into here based on this break, right? NQ looks slightly better, didn't get a lower low, but we had that very clean short setup there. Order block, weekly sweep, go down to the 12-hour, you had an H12 sweep, market structure break, nuked it. So I like the SPX short a little more, or set up a little more if it does provide the short, because it already has that MSB, whereas this doesn't. So this would be like a divergence between the two, right? The SPX made a lower low, NQ did not, right? So you could make the assumption, not the assumption, it's a fact that NQ is stronger here. So on the bounce, NQ likely bounces harder. On the eventual sell-off, you'd assume the SPX sells off harder. Gold looks like we just made a fresh low here, I think. Not quite yet, but pretty damn close. So my target 1 is here. Target 2 is here. I compounded on the retest of the breaker here, or the order block, excuse me. And I posted all this in Telegram, so that's what we're looking at. Probably stop to break even at this point. I don't want to lose money on this trade, but I'm hoping that this thing just continues to nuke. We've got a little fair value gap here, which could provide a bounce, right? But basically, my view is simple. Once we close, if we close through this fair value gap, and I hope we do, I would think that if we close below here, then I think we get a larger correction and we finish off that market maker fractal that I drew out, right, basically saying, hey, this entire move, right? This move is going to retrace all the way back to the original consolidation, this one here. So that's what I'm looking for ultimately, is down into there. But yeah, could see a bounce here from this 12-hour fair value gap. If this, then I expect that, right? If we bounce here and we fail to break down, then we don't necessarily go down there, right? But close through this fair value gap, I think we eventually will trade to the 1880s. This would probably be confluent with dollar getting a bit of a bounce, right? Or a bit of a dump, gold bouncing up, then dollar continuing the rally, then maybe that's the path it takes. But back below here is kind of what I'm looking for confirmation that this thing's going to go all the way to my final target. Okay, Link. I sold off some of my spot position yesterday because it's up. We're in a down market, and it's up 15% from my entry. Again, I posted this even with the RR tool in Telegram and on Twitter, etc. But yeah, brought my stop up to this new consolidation low here. And originally it was here. Stop is now here. I took half of the spot position off for like 15% gain. And it's continuing to push. So this is definitely asymmetric a little bit to the rest of the market here. I still could absolutely see this analysis play out. So the remainder of that bag, I'm just going to hold, and I'm just going to see what happens. Maybe I get a double up and it trades to $12. I don't know. Okay, BNB, this is something that we charted on last stream as well, or I think so. It might have been a Haven stream, but basically failure above this high, bit of a sell-off. We've got relatively equal lows here, right above kind of the 200 level of support, big fig. One of the weaker markets by far. So if we are going to sell off further, this is a great market for looking to short. Because it's just weak, right? It's weaker than a lot of other markets there right now. ARB, I thought looked pretty short here, or pretty weak here. I'm not in this trade, but I thought maybe up into this H12 breaker, sell off. It's getting kind of pushy right now. If Bitcoin, pushes up to those equal highs, this will probably trade higher. This is not a trade I took. But just kind of, this is how I would have taken it. I'd be looking to take it. We've got this 12-hour order block here. So for the shorts here, right, I'd want to see some sort of weakness here form. Right, so we've got the MSB. Maybe we get a sweep of some of these highs here and then some failure, and that would be the trigger to go short on this. But I do think this looks rather heavy and could absolutely trade back down into this low here. Got the MSB there, right? So here's your order block that caused the MSB. We're looking for reasons to short this here if they give them to us. If this reclaims this, it becomes a breaker. I'm now targeting up into there. And yeah, that's all I got, guys. Quick little video. Just wanted to get something out there because it's Monday. So throw on your Monday's ranges. Gave you some game plans, things I'm looking for, some ideas. I'll be back. I'll probably do a live stream maybe Wednesday. Get back on track with that. And yeah, hope everyone's staying safe out there. It's fucking cold and raining in Vancouver. Summer's over, so I'm going to complain for the next 7-8 months about why I live here, and then it'll get nice again, and then I'll shut up, and then the cycle will repeat. I don't know. I've thought about moving to Dubai, like a ton, because I got so many friends there, and in the winter months, right, October through April, it's amazing weather. Obviously the tax situation, the regulatory situation is amazing, but it's just far. Like it's 19-hour trip, and it's not direct. I got to fly to, cross country, and then, another 15 hours. And that's far for me to be away from family. I'm very close with my parents, my brothers. And if I'm going to have a kid in the next, couple years, which I probably will, that's a long way from home. It's a long way from my folks, and that's tough. I can't imagine telling my parents I'm only going to see them, they're only going to see their kids and me and their grandkids, a couple times a year. Now, obviously I don't have to be in Dubai all the time, but I got a dog and shit, right? Like you can't, I'm not a digital nomad. Part of me growing up, I always wanted to do the, I'll live here and then I'll, for 3 months, and I'll live here for 3 months. And like, it's a nice idea, but it's just not for me. I like being home. Like when I travel too much, I get like anxiety. I don't like it. I like being home with my stuff. Um, I like going on trips. I love to travel, but the idea of like living, not having a home base, right? Spending 4 months in Dubai, 4 months in Canada, 4 months somewhere else. It just never really appealed to me. Um, so I don't know. Maybe I'll move to Arizona or California just in the winter where it's warm. I'm kind of over the cold weather. I love to snowboard, but I can go on a ski trip, right? I can go stay at a condo for a couple weeks, get a bunch of snowboarding in. I don't need to live where the weather is fucking shitty and depressing. Like it's getting dark early. Like in the summer, it's a light here till 10:30, 11. After daylight savings kicks in, it's gonna be dark here at like 4. And then it's just raining all the time. Like, it's hard to take my dog out to the park when it's fucking gross out all the time. You know what I mean? So I don't mean to bitch. Life is good. I am blessed. But yeah, so stay tuned. I got some cool things in the work. As you guys know, I'm working on the bot. I'm working on the indicator here. So it's coming along well. We've been tweaking the settings a little bit. Pretty impressive stats here that are coming out. So right now I have this tuned to 1.5R for Euro USD here. So since 2020, January 2nd till now, it's taken 81 trades or 126 trades, and 81 have been profitable. So 64% win percentage on 1.5R target. And this is H12 H1 system, right? So if it takes the trade, it would be H12 range, order block, then the H1 trigger, MSB, etc. Killer win rate. You would have outperformed buying and holding. Obviously, would have done 100% on the account in that time. So we're continuing to tweak. This is not meant to be something that trades for you. This is meant to be something that marks out key levels of price action that I mark out on my own, right? So for example here, this short up here, where's a good example here? Let's see. Where's that short I took? Is it all the way back here? Yeah. So this short, I took this a couple months ago. Right? So this means it's an H12 SFP. Okay. There's your H1 MSB. It then marks out the breaker for you. And it shows you where you would enter. It shows you where your stop would go, right? And then here's the target, right? It automatically, you can set that TP to be whatever you want. 1R, 2R, 1.5R, 10R, doesn't matter. Set it to whatever you want. It'll show you the signal. Right now I have it pumping some stats into the Discord. So anytime there's a H12 bullish or bearish SFP, it will post in the Discord. And it's going to have all that functionality for you guys as well. So you can set it to any time frame. You can set exactly what you would want to see, right? What type of things do you want to see? Fair value gaps, order blocks, breakers. You can choose the RR that you want, the risk you would want on each trade. You can choose what time frame you want to use it on. So if you're using the H12 H1, you make this H12, then you look at the H1 chart. You can make this the weekly and then use the H12 chart. You'll get weekly H12 signals. You can make this the H1 and then go on the M5 chart and get those signals. It's got tons of customizability. It's going to have the ability for you to set it up with your Telegram or Discord, and it will feed you alerts for when an SFP is happening, when a market structure break's happening, and all that fun stuff. So like here, 12-hour SFP, we had the MSB, but there's no little circle here because it never got filled, right? This is a trade that got stopped out, for example, right here. So this was a 12-hour SFP. There's your MSB. Trade didn't work, right? So pretty cool stuff that we're working on here. Here's one that worked, right? SFP, market structure break. There's your fill. That green box is the TP. So pretty cool, but yeah, working on this. As you guys know, I'm also working on another project some of you know about. I'll be announcing that very soon. Super excited about it. And other than that, I'll keep up with the videos, keep you guys updated. Hopefully Bitboy's okay. Here's the stats on Bitcoin. H12, H1, 47% profit since 2021, 63% win rate over 80 trades. Not bad. Anyways, I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in. Shout out to the sponsors of the video, Prime XBT. If you guys want to support me, Best way to do it, deposit some money on Prime XBT using code Mayne50. Take some trades there. You can trade gold. You can trade all these FX pairs as well as CFDs of the stock market and things like that, like the US 500. So if you want to take some of those trades, you want to use crypto, no KYC, that's an option for you. So shout out to the Prime team. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.